Hey there, and welcome to our channel, where every day is an adventure waiting to be shared. I'm Manda, and together with Dan and Aria, we explore, capture, and most importantly, enjoy every moment together. Join us on this incredible journey around the globe. In this episode, we dive into the magic of Barcelona. We kick things off at the breathtaking Sagrada Familia. We wander the streets of the Gothic quarter, explore more of Gaudi's masterpieces, and unwind at Ciutadella Park. We witness amazing culture and local life in this jam-packed guide to Barcelona. Let the journey begin. Good morning from Barcelona. First up,
Sagrada Familia.
Sagrada Familia. We booked these tickets in advance about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. Got the 10 a.m. booking, so it's first cab off the ranks. So we just caught the metro from where we're staying to come here first, and I'm glad it's kind of that rush booked thing is over and done with, so then we can enjoy now. Got here on time, but the line is huge and I'm expecting it to be packed.
It's pretty epic though.
It's amazing. It's not unlike anything else we've ever seen. It is. I hope I can do it justice.
Lost in the desert, but we'll stay together. Wander forever, we'll stay together. I can hear your voice, I can hear you through the silence, through the silence. I can hear your voice, I can hear you through the silence, through the silence, through the silence. I can hear your voice, I can hear you through the silence, through the silence, through the silence.
Well, that is amazing.
Epic.
Nothing like
Well worth the entry fee.
100%.
One of a kind.
Must do when you're in
Must do,
Barcelona.
yeah,
Find the
definitely.
money for it to do it. Book
Yeah.
your tickets early. I reckon come earlier in the day as well, because I feel like the numbers would get kind of busier in there. So 10 o'clock was good. It was busy, but it wasn't crowded. You could still walk around.
Yeah, it's
so
okay,
we're also off season, so we are November, so it's not peak tourist season.
Yeah, look, show us video,
And-
show your off season.
But that's because they've actually just finished completing some of the towers or something, and so this weekend, being Saturday and Sunday, they're actually doing celebration and lighting the towers and doing all these things around. So at the moment, we're actually watching the traditional Spanish acrobatics thing from the sangria. I keep saying sangria. What is it? Sagrada Familia.
And yeah, they're doing Spanish like acrobatics. So we're going to stay and watch that too.
Human towers.
The human towers.
That's
Apparently
cool.
they get bigger each time.
Here we
so-
go, they're going.
All right, we better flip it around.
We continued to walk around the Sagrada Familia area, soaking in the celebration vibes. Inspired by Gaudi's work, we made our way down Passeig de Gràcia to admire some more significant masterpieces. You can visit both of these buildings, now turned museums, after purchasing entry tickets, and there are restaurants inside too. We continued to wander the streets of Barcelona, did a spot of shopping before finding a delicious burger bar for dinner. New toys.
DJI Osmo Pocket
3.
3. It's just being funny.
And why?
Thanks
and
for the
why-
hat.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
And why have we got it?
Because we can. No, to make better videos, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So, had really good reviews. Really wanted the creator pack, but didn't have it in Spain, and we really wanted it before we leave Spain. Not telling you where we're going yet, because I'm not giving that away. But yeah, hopefully future footage will be super duper awesome. Comes with a case, pocket size. That's why it's called the Pocket. Creator kit comes with lens and...
Can you get it out?
Sorry? Boop, boop. On. Robot on. Comes with a lens, couple of lenses, comes with a microphone, comes with extra battery, comes with...
Yeah, talk.
Comes with a little tripod leg thing. Really wanted that kit, however they didn't have it. Wanted to get it now though before we go on a little other adventure. So we just kind of went with it because we decided we don't do microphones because it's just not us. It's too like prepared, not like real life. We don't need the extra lenses. We have a tripod leg thing we can try. If we need an extra battery, well, apparently later on in the future we should be able to buy it as well. So on top. So if that's the only letdown bit that we need, we can always add it later on. I'm super excited for some different footage. We'll see how it goes. We don't really need waterproof at the moment. We need kind of like on-the-go vlogging sort of stuff. That's the style of travel that we're doing at the moment. So kind of suits what we need at the moment. Are you right there? So welcome to DJI.
So bright.
So weird seeing it like so stable. I know it's like the drone, but like it's weird seeing it in a little handheld thing. It's one eye looking at you.
You're so bright on this.
We are getting prepared. Seasickness tablets and Panadol. Just in case. That's pretty easy.
Yep,
Reasonably priced.
nice pharmacy.
Just down the road.
Today we spent the day doing one of our favourite things while travelling, just wandering and learning all about our new DJI vlogging camera.
Good morning from Barcelona. We're off on an adventure out on the streets in Barcelona. We're hoping to find something new and exciting to do.
What do you think?
Blueberry meringue. I've never had anything but vanilla or chocolate. It's delicious. Tastes like blueberries.
Yum. Good to have a bakery treat. I got a big croissant with salami in it, or ham. And Aria got cool. It's like a baked sweet scroll. Good.
Yeah.
We made our way through our local area before finding the heart of Barcelona, strolling along the iconic La Rambla, a lively tree-lined boulevard that stretches from Plaça de Catalunya all the way down to the waterfront. Once a medieval stream bed, it's now a bustling pedestrian street full of life, street performers and cafe. Touristy? Sure, but it's a must-see. From there we wandered toward the waterfront, where we were greeted by one of Barcelona's quirkiest landmarks, Cap de Barcelona, a giant surrealist sculpture created by American pop artist Roy Lichtenstein for the 1992 Summer Olympics. We followed the paths to Ciutadella Park, Barcelona's green oasis and once the site of a military citadel. It's now a vibrant public space with locals enjoying the whole area. The standout, the Cascade Monumental, an enormous and ornate fountain partly designed by a young Antoni Gaudi. Yes, that same Gaudi. As we approached, we heard lively Spanish music drifting through the park. After walking the stairs beside the monument, we discovered a joyful scene, locals dancing the day away to swing and cha-cha rhythms, their energy filling the air with pure Barcelona magic. Aria loved it. From there, we continued on to the Arc de Triomphe, built as the gateway to the 1888 Barcelona World Fair. Unlike many triumphal arches, this one isn't about military victory. Instead, it was designed to celebrate art, industry, and progress. Back in the Gothic quarter, we wandered the narrow, winding alleyways. We found one of the most Instagram spots in the city, the Pont de Bisbe, or Bishop's Bridge. It may look medieval, but it's actually a romantic neo-Gothic addition built in 1928, and has a little mystery too. If you look closely underneath, there's a carved skull with a dagger through it. Rumour has it, bad luck comes to those who walk under it. We took our chances. We made our way to the stunning Cathedral of Barcelona, a masterpiece of Catalan Gothic architecture that took over 150 years to complete. The rest of the day, well, we just wandered, the best way to experience this atmospheric part of Barcelona. Tucked away plazas, iron balconies dripping with plants, the hum of local life. It's the soul of the city.
No se puede, pero quiero verte una última vez. Sé que tú no quieres y aunque yo te entiendo no puedo ceder a la idea de no volverte a ver.
Alrighty, that brings us to the end of our next, or our latest stint of Schengen Europe time. We started in Hungary, we went out of the zone to Romania, back in to Croatia, Slovenia, Austria, and Spain. I had to think again where we went. Did our loop, and we did our days that we were allowed in, basically. So that's where we always try and do a summary for you with costs and favourites and things like that to give you some more information for your research, I guess, for your next trip.
Just in case you missed it, when we travel with Airbnbs like this and cars, we like cars instead of trains because there's three of us, and the train tickets end up being too expensive with three people versus a cheap car hire. Plus, you can get to stop and see all the little waterfalls and things, and on your own time and stuff like that. If you're just traveling city to city in Europe, do trains. That's
capital
cool.
To capital, yeah.
Capital to capital. If you're planning on doing any sort of nature stuff, highly recommend a car. And we use the hub and spoke method, where you find a city that has cheap car hires and good flight networks and use that as a hub. So in this case, we used Budapest as a hub.
And then, flew over to Barcelona. And then used Barcelona as the start and finish for our Spain adventure. So it's saying that with the visa and the Schengen thing, just in case you aren't aware, as Australians, we can only spend 90 days in Europe of certain countries. That Schengen zone is getting bigger and bigger with more countries joining in. It is different to EU countries, and it's different to, just Europe. It's a special zone of an agreement of countries that can move between each other without any borders.
So Romania was outside of Schengen when we did this travel, and then now they are inside Schengen. So now they are no longer an outside of Schengen location. Unfortunately, because it's a great place to spend 3 months if you wanted to get out of Europe.
If you want to get out of the zone, for
if
sure.
You stay in Europe but get out of Schengen. No,
yes.
you can't do that.
No, you can't. Yeah. So unfortunately, the zone is getting bigger. The countries are joining in, and the days aren't getting any. You're not allowed any more days to explore. So
if you're a long-term traveller, it's getting more and more difficult, really.
It is, for sure. So in saying that, so there is no visa required for you to go. It is, you arrive and you don't require to apply for any visas or anything like that. It's just you're in the zone for 90 days and then you leave. If you want to apply for long-term tourist visas, work visas, any of those things, they are definitely visas you can apply for. But as a tourist, you can go in visa-free, 90 days in the zone, and then leave, and you get passport stamped on the way in and on the way out. So we had it stamped at the Romania border, so that we were out in that time, and then stamped back in when we crossed back in again. So, however, that's irrelevant now because there is no border there, and they are part of the zone now. So that border crossing doesn't exist anymore. They are bringing in I always get the letters wrong, EITAS.
IATA, yeah, something like that.
Something along those lines.
IATS.
Which is basically going to be an electronic approval to travel. It's still not a visa as such.
Just a €10 thing, check. Same thing America does, same thing Australia does.
And now the UK
does.
is doing as well, yes. It's basically electronic
Criminal
approval to
almost.
check that you're a good person, you're allowed in the area. That is not, there's rumours, it started this year, it's starting this year, it's starting next year.
2 years late now.
It's been starting for like 2 years the whole time we've been travelling, and it hasn't started yet. So they're saying next year. All we can say is keep an eye on that if you are travelling in the future. But if you are travelling to the UK, there is now an ETA, which you do have to download the app and apply for and have approved. It's
£20 a person.
£16 a person now.
£16.
Yeah, so it adds up a lot. And it doesn't matter if you're there for a day or if you're there for 3 months, you've got to have that ETA. It does last 2 years, so you can come and go for 2 years. So that's a good thing. You don't have to do it every time, but even if you're just going to land as a transit through London or something, you still have to have it for that transit. Yeah, so that's just an update on the visas and things that's happening currently at the time of the release of this video. So let's move into some summary stuff, information about this loop of our Schengen adventures that we just finished. Basically, as you said, we had a car hire the whole time, and it's our preferred travel method.
Like, we even got it for within Budapest, because we flew into the airport, and then we're only spending 2 or 3 nights in Budapest. So rather than getting a taxi or bus from the airport into the city for our accommodation, and then a taxi or bus back out to the airport to pick up a car, it was much easier to book accommodation with parking, which was actually surprisingly easy in Budapest, and get a car hire from the airport. They're all set up, so you get a shuttle from the airport to the car hire, pick up the car, drove in the city, which was relatively kind of easy.
Yeah, it was fine.
Easy-ish.
It's the time of day that we did was fine.
Parked the car for the whole time we were in Budapest, didn't use it, and then when it was time to leave, just jump in the car straight away and drive.
Drove out. Yeah. It was actually cheaper to have a car sit there for $24 a day or something than it was for us to get a taxi or a bus in and out.
Yeah.
So it was actually cheaper for us to let it sit there and not be used. So that was one of the reasons. We also had the car in Austria as well, and again purely because of the loop we were doing.
It was a headache in Vienna. It was difficult to get a accommodation with parking in Vienna. Yeah, but we managed it.
We managed, exactly. Yeah. We got there in the end. And in the end, we actually decided that we could even stay a bit further out where we probably would have got more options for accommodation with car.
Yeah, once you haven't to catch a train anyway, it's not a big deal if you're an extra 5-10 minutes out on the train line.
Yeah, so
as long as you're near a station within walking distance of the station.
Yeah, after we were there, we're like, yeah, we could have done that. That would have been fine. And when we were in Barcelona, we did fly there, pick it up, drive along our coastal road trip. Then when we got back to Barcelona, we did drop it off before having it in Barcelona. So we did not book accommodation with a car there.
Half of that was because the cruise left from the docks of Barcelona, which is inside the city as well. Yes. So we can catch a train straight to our ship.
Yes. We weren't giving away where we were going next yet.
I mean, you know. They've got Facebook.
You just let the cat out of the bag.
Anyone wants to know, you can look on Facebook. Anyway.
Anywho, so that's basically car stuff. It's doable. It's fine. We really like it. We prefer it than to do public transport. Okay, next.
Wish we could get electric cars for cheaper. That would be really good.
Yeah. So the next on my list, it reminded me about vignettes and tolls.
Oh, okay. Can I just one last thing?
Oh, sure.
You don't need a big car. Get the smallest car you can realistically fit into. Like, we fit 2 suitcases,
3 backpacks,
3 backpacks, shopping bags full of groceries, and Aria and a car seat and or both of us in an Opel Corsa size, which is like a small hatchback size.
Yeah.
You put the seat down, you do what you got to do, and stuff fits in, and it's so much easier for parking and driving
than anything
in Europe.
Yeah.
So try and go as small as you can, and not only that's also cheaper. So
yeah, and fuel efficiency on a small vehicle.
Small fuel efficiency, yeah, especially on those little diesels in Europe, they're really good, like 1,000 kilometers from a 40-litre tank or something.
Yeah. Okay, so back to mine, vignette and tolls. We only paid one toll in Spain, and that was just when we were trying to get somewhere really quickly. And in Austria, you do need a vignette to drive. So as soon as you cross that border, there are service stations and right on the border. Even though there's no border, because it's in this Schengen zone, there is still an old border, and there's all the service stations there, and you just stop, pay, I think it was €10
for a week.
Or something like that, for the vignette that allows you to drive on the roads. So
I will say there is Hungary as well. We paid it was in the car hire.
In the car hire
Was a vignette for Hungary. If you don't hire your car from Hungary, you have to buy a vignette for Hungary as well.
Yes. And there's others like throughout Europe, like Switzerland, you need a vignette and things like that as well. So definitely, depending on where you're going, look into those little things. They're usually easy to buy. I know the Austria one you can buy online now as well. So, okay, I think that's everything for cars.
Cool.
So when we were in the major cities, capital cities, we did take the public transport. It was easy. Most of it was tap and go with a card or pay by card at the station to get the tickets. We looked into what was going to benefit us and how many trips we were going to take on the trains.
Sometimes a day pass worked out, and sometimes just single trip, every couple of single trips and stuff.
Yeah, depending on how you group your activities and things and what areas you're staying and all that stuff. So
I will say it's almost never super cheap. It's never like so cheap that you're like, oh, this is whatever. Like,
yeah, we still have to analyse whether we want to walk or
usually,
yeah.
It does usually add up.
Yes. And sometimes Aria is free and sometimes she's not. And so you do have to do a little bit more of that research about what suits you. If you can, yes. What suits you and where you're staying as to how many trains you need to catch and things like that. So it all is all very variable, but it is easy still. It is not like scary that you can't figure it out. Google Translate on your phone if you can't. They usually have an English button on the ticket machines. Press that first and then it's all in English. So it's really not, something that
usually
you need to...
an app. In Hungary, in Budapest, it was an app. Download an app and then bought the tickets on the app. Yeah.
So it's doable and easy. So it's all part of travel as well, figuring out those things.
Favourites from this leg?
Yes. So we loved it all, honestly. Like, when I was looking back at the photos and the videos and everything, there wasn't a single bit that I didn't like. There's something about everywhere that I loved, like Spain, the beaches and chilling out and warm, in November was great.
€9 bottle of rum.
And yeah. The Croatia coast, it was really variety, like had a variety there with the like Roman ruins and the beach and the quiet and the views and all that sort of stuff. And then before that, was Slovenia with the mountains and the amazing waterfalls and the river, gorge there.
We really touched a lot of lesser known areas and countries for Australians.
Yes.
On this trip, and so. Like the way we've been describing it to people is that Romania is our favourite country in Europe because it's fully European, occasionally like poor, not very often.
Not where we were.
And usually like fully like proper Europe. It's proper Europe.
Yeah.
Squares and cobblestones and old buildings and castles. And
yes. And the variety there. The
and
variety.
It's cheap.
Cheap. For now. The variety of things between beautiful small cities to bigger cities to nature, mountains, waterfalls, gorges, castles and viewpoints, ski lifts, just has everything.
A lot of
and
nature.
The people were so friendly. The food was yum.
But and the other thing is, I don't know, for us we're on a reasonable budget.
We budget, yeah.
We're not on a holiday budget where we just spend anything.
Yeah.
So to be in Romania felt like we were on that holiday where we didn't have to even think about
going and eating out or
a
tourist attraction.
Yeah. It's like, what's this tourist attraction cost? Oh, like $5 Australian.
Sweet.
Cool. Yeah. Like, just do it. You didn't have to think about it and say, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that. Whereas traveling in Switzerland,
Oh yeah.
You're like, do we do this activity or do we
Or
do
do we
this
do this one?
activity or do we do neither of those activities and
Yeah.
just enjoy nature because that's a lot of money? Like,
Yeah. And the other part, I'm going to actually go through the costs of Romania in specifics in a minute, just so you can compare to our previous video that I'll link, that we go through costs of like Germany and France and things like that. And as a portion of this whole, I'll do costs of Romania and then I'll do costs of the whole trip, so you can see how much that kind of compares. But with Romania, we chose like 5-star hotel, like 5-star accommodation almost, penthouse ones,
we
and
really
things like that.
upped our standards
So-
and kept roughly the same cost
Yes,
as cheap places in other countries.
exactly. So like we had that higher level of living for the same prices.
We ate out a lot more.
We did. I've got that down as well. The fact how many times we ate out and stuff like that. It was just
Yeah.
in comparison to our normal other areas that we travel and other countries that we've traveled, Romania was like that luxury, like holiday.
It was like travelling Asia,
Yeah.
but in Europe.
So in summary, like we've loved everything. There's not a single place that I would say don't go to out of this whole series that we've done in this past chunk. Not a single place have I not enjoyed. But Romania is definitely like, if you said to me, I want to go to Europe and I want to go somewhere that's really different and not the tourist attractions, sort of must see bucket list place, where should I go? And that would be Romania.
Romania is cleaner than Italy. The roads are nicer than Italy. Like, don't go to Italy. Go to Romania.
Yeah. So it's really interesting, and it is kind of like shocking to people when we say that, but it is honestly how we feel. And yeah, everywhere in Europe is amazing. Don't get me wrong, everywhere is amazing. Slovenia, Switzerland, France, the lot, Norway. Like we've loved everywhere we've been. There's still so much more to come in these videos as well, and we still think back to Romania with happy thoughts every time.
Yeah.
So
I would say for me, out of this loop, the best things were the whole country of Romania.
Yeah.
The Mediterranean coast of Croatia
Mhm.
on the Istrian Peninsula.
Yep.
Is it the Istrian?
Yep.
Like Rabat, where we stayed, and a few other towns along that coast. That's like really Mediterranean, but not as hectic as
not
everywhere
like
else.
Zagreb and and
Slovenia.
too.
Slovenia was absolutely mind blowing. It's
Stunning.
very much like Switzerland.
Stunning.
Huge mountains, the blue glacial rivers and creeks. We were there in autumn, and just as autumn was starting, and all the autumn trees, and
It was just glorious.
it's just a really, and again, it's reasonably priced, and
Yeah.
the capital's beautiful, Ljubljana.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
nothing negative. But if you haven't watched our whole series, you can go back and watch these videos. That it really does show how amazing all of these places are, and that hopefully it inspires you to go somewhere a little bit different rather than just the
Yeah.
London, Paris, Rome kind of places. Which obviously, if you're doing a one-off trip to Europe, add those places in, but definitely try and go to somewhere different as
The
well.
next time, if you go after you've knocked over the main.
Or even if you're not, if you're doing a once in a lifetime, trip and you've got sort of 3 months, do those major places and then hit these others as well that are just a little bit different.
Spend a month and then spend 2 months. A month doing the main places in France, Italy, UK, and then a month doing that. Spain, we loved Valencia. Barcelona was awesome, really cool. It was expensive and difficult though, and they don't like Airbnbs and they don't like travellers, so it wasn't a welcoming place.
Yeah.
And the coast of Spain was very touristy.
Yeah. So you got to pick your
to the
season there, I
point
think.
where you're like,
I think you have to pick your season to go to Spain, to be honest.
yeah.
I
I mean, Valencia is totally different though.
yes. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anyway.
and
Try and
like
knock over like southeastern Europe, like
Yeah.
Romania, Budapest. Budapest was the number one of our favourite cities in all of Europe, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah. But hopefully that helps. Hopefully you can watch all the other videos, or even if you have watched them and you're planning to go watch them again, and try and take that step out of the comfort zone a little bit, and the places that everyone recommends to go and the must sees and the bucket list, smash those out and head somewhere a little bit different, and get a real, I don't know, just a different experience of Europe.
Yeah, especially with the cars different as well. Like there's
Yeah.
so much nature to sit top and see, and so many small places that you can't even get a train to or even a bus to.
Yeah.
Like some of the castles and ruins and stuff that we visited in Romania, you can't get a bus to that or a car or anything. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
the 7 ladders, near Brasov. Like,
Yeah.
you need to drive.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so hopefully that helps. If you have any questions about the whole Europe thing, let us know in the comments because I'm happy to answer them. I don't want. We've gone through in the previous info video, like the logistics and things like that a bit more of like groceries and the life stuff. So I don't want to repeat all of that. So if you haven't watched that one, you'll get info there. And if I've missed anything or you want to know anything else in particular about this section or countries, I'm absolutely happy to answer them for you. So we'll go through accommodation. So, that's another thing actually. Someone on one of the Facebook groups asked when I did a comparison post about groceries of different countries, comparing to Australia, and comparing to each other, UK, Europe, like sort of France, Europe, Norway, and Australia kind of thing. People were like, oh, that's really interesting, found it really helpful. And then someone asked, could you do something similar roughly with accommodation? I was like, I'll try. So I did went back through our facts, our figures that we kept, and then I did a bit of a research for comparing to cities and places in Australia to compare. So if you were to then holiday in Australia compared to a holiday somewhere in Europe. And basically it came down to things like Vienna was 100 for us at the time with the exchange rate for a 2-bedroom kitchen place apartment in the city. Yeah, they're all sort of they're all the same standard as well. Vienna was $172 a night. Budapest was $101 per night. Barcelona was $286 a night. When you compare that to Sydney at about $320 a night, which is what we actually paid there, Melbourne $250 a night, and Perth $250 a night for something similar. So if you are, smart about your choices with accommodation, book in advance, things like that, you can get actually really decent prices.
So we're talking 2-bedroom apartments here as well, not just single hotel rooms.
Yes.
So
you can get decent accommodation in capitals.
You save a lot of money with a kitchen, but that's just us. We balance eating out and cooking.
It helps our budget.
Because I'm a great cook, and
and I have the gluten thing, so it's easier sometimes. Well, actually, a lot of the time. And we sometimes with Aria, she can't go out every night and do dinners and stuff. We need her to be, at home and just a normal dinner and bed and things like that. So for us and our travel, it's different, but it helps also with the budget. So in saying that, something like, a smaller place, just so you can compare. So Rabat, which is the Croatia coast, was $121 a night.
Shoulder season with a week-long discount on Airbnb.
Yes. Sighisoara in Romania was $103 a night. That was just a couple of nights, so no week-long
full price. That's full price, and that was a nice place.
That was nice, beautiful 2-bedroom. Yeah. 103. And then Lake Bled area. We stayed about 25 minutes out from Lake Bled itself in a beautiful chalet.
It's amazing.
And it was $151 a night. Again, it was actually a 3-bedroom full chalet house. So
top story views out of the valley, and
again, shoulder season. So in comparison to that for Australia, so I just picked places that sort of new. Nelson Bay, something similar, was going to be $250 a night. Cairns was going to be $220 a night. Port Macquarie, $220 a night, and then the Hunter Valley Wine Region was $250 a night. So you can see there that even the smaller places, yes, they're still tourist places. Nelson Bay, Hunter Valley Wine Region, they're still tourist places, but so is Bled. I thought they're still inland, they're not a capital, but they're still a tourist place. You can still see there that it is actually really affordable to travel in Europe for accommodation.
Yeah, it's cheaper than holidaying in Australia.
Unfortunately, that's where it's at. Add your flights. Yes, flights to Europe are expensive and they're long and all of that stuff. But if you're going to go for a stint, you can actually quite reasonably travel with a decent budget and get nice accommodation compared to something like doing a road trip or something down the east coast of Australia. Yeah. In comparison, really.
Speaking of costs.
So hopefully that helps for anyone kind of wanting to know a little bit about that. Okay, costs.
Yep. Romania.
Okay, so we did 24 nights in Romania.
Accommodation, $2,991 total, $125 a night.
Car hire?
$576 total, $24 a night.
Attractions
$226.
total for the 24 days. Yep. Eating out,
$483 for 10 meals out with other takeaway and bakeries and all sorts of other treats.
Yep.
So that's an average of $48 for 2 adults and 1 child to eat out a full, large meal in Romania.
so
Plus bakeries. It's probably even less.
No,
probably
so
like
this was-
$40.
But yeah, so I was going to say, so it was, when I did it, it was roughly average for a meal each for the 3 of us, so basically 3 meals. And we'd always usually get Aria an adult meal because the
And we
kids'
got-
meal were pretty much the same
Yeah,
price.
And we got cocktails than most of them.
Yeah, was $40. So an adult, 3 adult meals and drinks was $40 total. Average pretty much. So and then we added bakeries and things on top, ice creams and whatever. Groceries.
$934.
For the 24 nights.
Yep.
And fuel.
$346.
So that came to total.
$5,898 or $246 a day.
So that was everything. So there's a couple of other categories in there, like our insurance, our eSIMs, and bits and bobs that I haven't categorized down. All of that we listed plus those extra bits.
Basically every single cost to be traveling in Europe,
Yeah.
in Romania for that 24 nights.
Was
$246 a day.
and remember, our accommodation was the luxury stops, and the eating out was like
We could have done cheaper.
Oh yeah, we could have done that heaps cheaper. Okay, so then in comparison to costs overall for our whole trip of Budapest, Romania, Croatia, Slovenia, Austria, and Spain. Overall, we actually only spent 68 nights in there because we need to leave a few extra, and timing wise and things like that. Accommodation,
$8,155, $120 a night.
car hire,
$1,400, total of $20.60 a night. That's because our Spanish car hire was
$10.
ridiculously cheap.
$10 a day.
$10 a day.
Yeah. This is all in Australian dollars, and it was all at the exchange rate at the time as well. Flights?
$1,249
So that was a flight from England to Budapest, and then Budapest to Spain.
to Barcelona.
So those
with luggage.
with luggage for the 3 of us, that trip there. Attractions total?
$397.
Eating out.
$798.
And groceries?
$2,572. You can see that the eating out didn't grow much outside of Romania, and the groceries did grow. So we obviously don't do much eating out outside of the cheaper countries like Romania because it really skyrockets.
Yeah. And fuel, parking, tolls, vignette, all those kind of car related.
$905.
And our eSIMs.
$306 for the 68 nights.
And a travel insurance was
$6 Australian a day.
Yes.
For the 2 of us.
Yes.
Total $15,886 or $233.60 a day.
So when you compare that to our Romania stint per day,
We actually ended up cheaper outside of Romania.
we ended as an average overall, it was cheaper we had cheaper things outside of
We
Romania.
definitely did less and
Yes.
stayed in like much cheaper places.
Yes, lower standard
And
accommodation.
did not eat out as much.
Yeah.
And
It didn't do as many attractions and things like that. So that's what we were saying before about the whole standard in Romania was higher than the rest of the time. But it's just funny how that we lived it up.
We did,
in
yeah.
Romania. We actually were shocked at that when we did the sums back.
yeah,
At the
because it is definitely a cheaper country, and yeah.
Yeah, and but we don't
You
regret
it goes
any
so
of
much
it.
further. You get so much more for your money there. It doesn't feel like you're getting ripped off by
Yes.
anything. So,
And we lived it
Remember
up.
the
We
barbecue
enjoyed it.
chickens?
Yes.
but how much were they? They were like
That was so cheap.
$3.50 for a whole barbecue chicken at the supermarket.
Yeah, yeah.
They had a little shack outside that we loved, and they did bratwurst and rolls and
Chips.
chips
Mm.
and barbecue chickens. And every time we drove
Yes.
past a Kaufland
We're like,
in Romania, there's lunch.
Take me back.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we just, we, as you can see, I think you can see on our faces that we have loved the whole thing. We have loved all of everything we've done, and there's not a thing we hate, but Romania really has taken a chunk and is going to stay there, I think. So, it's been awesome. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully it inspires you to go out of the comfort zone a little bit. Hopefully it helps with your research and planning, and we are here all the time to help answer and help you travel to Europe or even elsewhere.
Go and book some trip to Romania.
Yeah. So we are leaving Europe now on the next adventure. We'll see you then.
Ciao.
Coming up next episode, we kick off part 1 of our transatlantic cruise as we set sail from Barcelona. Join us as we explore life at sea, soak up the sunshine in Malaga and stop in Ponta Delgada, Portugal, in the stunning Azores Islands. It's sunsets, seaside towns and inland lakes, you won't want to miss it. We'll see you soon.